Professor Teresa Pelkie. This is Session 13, Part 1, the Union Operator. In this session, we will look at two different topics. In this video, we will look at the union operator. Using the union operator, you can combine results from one or more select statements. In Part 2, we'll learn about how you can create and work with stored procedures. To get started, we'll look at two simple select statements. We'll be working with the city table and the country table in the world schema. The first select is shown on this slide. It is a query that gets the list of cities that have a population over 9 million. This select gets the city and the population of the city from the city table. It uses a simple join to get the name of the country from the country table. As you can see, there is nothing tricky or complicated about this query. It's just a simple select that uses a join to one other table. The order by clause sorts the list in order by the city name. Here is another simple query. This select is over the country table. It selects countries where the population of the country is less than 5,000. In this select, there is a join to the city table. The country table contains the ID in the city table for the country's capital city. So what you're seeing here are the country names, the capital city names, and the country populations. As on the previous slide, the results are displayed in order of the city name. So having seen the two queries on the previous slides, let's say that you need to get a list of cities using the requirements shown here. First, you need a list of cities that have a population over 9 million. Note that you are considering only the city population here, not the country population. Second, you need a list of the capital cities in countries that have a country population of less than 5,000. As you saw on the previous slides, the select statements that get these results are simple. The trick is to combine the results from the two select statements into one result set. It turns out that you can combine two or more results set into one using the SQL union operator. The union appears between the select statements as shown on this slide. Although it may be difficult to see the details, what we have on this slide are the two select statements that were used earlier. In addition to adding the union operator, I've added a column named What Is It to both of the select statements. As shown here, I'm using the What Is It column to identify which select statement produced the row in the result table. Strictly speaking, you probably won't need to have a column like the What Is It column. I'm using it here just to show that the two select statements each provide rows that are in the combined result set. When you use the union operator, you must have the same number of columns in the same order in all of the select statements that are used. I say all of the select statements because you are not limited to using just two select statements, as shown here. If you need to combine the results from 3 select statements, you just put another union operator after the second select statement, then put the third select statement after that. The column names don't have to be the same, but as shown here, you can always use the as keyword to assign column alias names. The columns must be in the same order. That is, you can't have the population column be the first column in the first select and the third column in the second select. The data types of the columns must be the same or compatible. That means if column 1 in the first select is a character data type, column 1 in the second select must also be a character data type. A compatible data type might be a varchar. Numeric types are compatible with each other, but you can't have something like a character data type in a column in the first select and a numeric data type in the corresponding column in the second select. The order by clause is applied to the combined result set. Note that the first select statement does not have an order by clause. Although it looks like the order by applies to the second select statement, the order by in fact is for the entire result set, the combined results produced by the union. A variation of the union operator is the union all operator. When you use the union operator, the combined result set is filtered so that there are no duplicate rows. A row is considered to be a duplicate if the values in all of the columns in the row are the same as all of the values in another row. In some cases, you might want all of the rows from the result set to appear in the final result set, even if there are duplicate rows. To get all of the rows, including duplicates, specify the union operator as union all. So the question is, when would you want to or need to use a union or union all operator? Usually, when you want to get data from more than one table into a result set, you will use a join of some kind. But there are some types of queries where a join will not provide the results that you need, but a union might. As shown in the example in this video, you might be able to combine some simple select statements to get the results that you need. The problem is that you need to provide matching columns in the result sets. If you have two select statements that might work, but one of them would include more columns than the other, you can always pad the shorter select with filler columns. For example, the what is it column that I showed you earlier is an example of a filler column. One use case that is a natural fit for a union or union all is when you need to work with data in historical tables. Some applications might create archival versions of tables. For example, at the beginning of the year, the prior year data is copied out into an archival table. If you need to get the data for the current year and also for the prior year, you can use a union or union all operator to combine the data from the two tables into one result set. The union operator is not commonly used, but when it fits the requirement, it can be the best way to create a consolidated result set. In the next video, we'll look at how to create and work with stored procedures.